There are many ways in which you can make healing the fearful avoidant attachment style easier, and pretty much all of them have to do with deeply understanding the fear brain, that part of your brain that wants to keep you safe, that wants to protect you. So in this video, we're going to look at 6 signs that your fear brain is actually sabotaging you healing the fearful avoidant attachment style. I am Pauline, and I am so happy you are here because understanding the fear brain can make a world of difference in your healing journey. In the last 2 videos, we went deep into resistance to healing, why you have it and how to work through it. And so much of that has to do with the fear brain and how you can work with it instead of against it. Because when you work against it, it is going to be so much harder to heal no matter what you do. But when you understand it and make healing safe, healing won't be easy, but it will be much easier and lighter and goes faster. And that is what I will always want for you. So let's just dive into the signs immediately. The first sign is telling your fear brain will be telling you this won't work. And you will be the only one that this doesn't work for. This could be a new therapy you're starting. It could be doing a program to heal, anything that will take you towards healing, towards being healed. Your fear brain will be scared of that because it feels like where you are now, even though it's not an ideal situation, it knows what to do. It knows how to be here. It's like you've been trained for this, the way you think, the way you feel, you know kind of what to expect. And so when you heal, you set out to an unfamiliar destination, and that is scary for your fear brain. So it will tell you this won't work, and you will be the only one this doesn't work for. And that is the one that will make you doubt, even when you see that it works for others. You think, no, but for me it won't work. And whatever your fear brain just adds to that, I'm either too broken, I'm too old, I'm too young. This is the question we get the most by far by people starting Healed and Happy, the online program. And the interesting thing is that even when they believe that this won't work for them, when they're scared that it won't work for them, it still works. So this is something your fear brain tells you but isn't true. If it works for so many people, it's not that you are the only one in the world it doesn't work for, but that is just your fear brain trying to keep you safe, trying to keep you in a place it knows, instead of healing and then being in a way or being in a place that it doesn't know. So that is the first sign. The second is needing to feel bad. When your fear brain keeps pulling you back, you're healing, you're starting to feel better, and then all of a sudden you are back to feeling bad about yourself, about your journey, about where you are in your healing journey. That is definitely a sign that your fear brain is influencing your healing journey. And the needing to feel bad is a belief that you probably have as a fearful avoidant, that you have to feel bad in order to get better and to grow and to improve and to change your behavior. But when you get thrown back into feeling bad or pulled back into feeling bad again and again and again, it is definitely your fear brain that is freaking out and just needs to be heard and be taken by the hand so that it becomes easier to heal and you actually allow yourself to feel better, to feel good while healing, instead of healing and then going back to feeling bad, because if you don't feel bad, you won't improve, you won't change. And then you heal more and then you get thrown back, and it's just this endless loop, which is very, very exhausting. But we can absolutely take you out of that by understanding the fear brain. The third one is your fear brain telling you it's not going fast enough, and focusing on all the proof that you're not really healing. This is something the fear brain does a lot. It's just trying, again, to keep you where you are right now. And this is how I started realizing that maybe all these thoughts that I was having weren't really me. So I went through the crash state of the fearful avoidant for years, and I was healing, and I took my thoughts very, very seriously. Whenever my thoughts said, this is not going to work, I thought that was truth. Whenever I felt like, I felt resistance, I thought that was proof that I either had to work harder or I shouldn't do it. And after years, I had this moment I remember so well, when I thought, but wait, how is this thought actually serving me? How is this really helping me? And I started observing my thoughts, and I realized that the fear brain, as I started calling it, is really not interested in getting you to a place of being healed, or feel good, or be happy. It just wants to keep you safe. And that started a journey, I think that was about 10 years ago, of me just being so intrigued by this fear brain, that I started mapping it. I started seeing the patterns. I started writing everything down. And especially when I started healing, helping other fearful avoidants heal, all of a sudden I had so many more fear brains to kind of observe and help. And the very interesting thing is that the fear brain works the same in everybody. And with Healed and Happy now, we have people from over 56 countries, which is amazing. It's just unbelievable. And I thought maybe, fear brains over in other cultures work differently. They have different cultural beliefs. And still, so many of the thoughts, one on one, are the same, are just the same. So the fear brain is universal. It works the same in pretty much everyone. And so when I started realizing that this was actually a fear brain, and its only goal is to keep me safe, not to make me happy, not to actually get me to a place of being healed, I was able to look at it so differently. So when I noticed that my fear brain was focusing on all the reasons why I wasn't there and why it wasn't working, it was much easier to see that for what it was. It was the fear brain. What helped even more was healing and really taking the fear brain by the hand and showing it is safe to heal. But the third sign, just to get back to the signs, is that you it focuses on all the proof that you're not really healing. And this can make you feel so helpless and powerless, even though you're not. And this is why in Healed and Happy we actually measure progress, which is so interesting. You fill in a survey when you start, and then you fill in a survey after every pathway that you do. And then you see the numbers go down, and they should go down. When you come in, usually it's like 9s or 10s around a lot of questions, like how afraid are you that you will mess up sooner or later. Just a long list of questions. And then after one pathway, just the foundational pathway, those numbers usually already go down so much. And then all of the additional pathways that we have, that we custom assign based on where you are in your journey at that moment, we measure it again. And it's so interesting, because then what I hear back so often is, oh, but I thought that I wasn't doing very well because this was still not healed or not changed. And your fear brain just focuses on that one thing that isn't where you want it to be. And yet so many other things have changed and have improved. And when you see that, you do recognize that. You do feel that, oh yeah, that's not an issue anymore. Wow, yeah, oh yeah, that used to bother me so much, or I used to worry about that so much. It's just not an issue anymore. And that is so important to see and to have. So you can be healing for years, and it could actually be working, and yet you feel like you're not really getting anywhere, because your fear brain just keeps focusing on the proof that you aren't healing. So it focuses on the things that aren't there yet, that aren't good enough yet. And that can make it so much harder to heal, because when you see that it's working and you realize, oh yeah, that's not an issue anymore, that's not a problem anymore, man, that gives so much motivation. So that is the third sign, and that is a way your fear brain is sabotaging you healing the fearful avoidant attachment style. Then the fourth sign is escapism. And with what I mean by that is that your fear brain will focus on an area in your life saying that this is the problem. All the fear you feel, all the tension you feel, everything that you don't want to feel is because your relationship isn't right, or it's because you have to live in a different place. You have to move all the way to the other side of the world, and then you'll be happy. If you just be with somebody else, then you'd be happy. And it's when the fear brain just does this because it can't see the cause of what you're feeling in the past. The reason you're feeling a lot of fear is probably because you're triggered a lot and there's a lot of old pain coming up. But the fear brain cannot see in the past. It can't say, oh, but you're feeling tension right now because you used to not feel safe with being vulnerable, and this right now is a vulnerable moment. Your fear brain will never do that. It will never say that. It will say, you feel tension, this is not right, and it's the relationship. When you break up, when you leave the relationship, then everything will be fine. And in a way, it feels comforting that there is an escape, that there is kind of like a fantasy choice that you can make that will just take away all of this fear and the confusion and the overwhelm and the tension that you're feeling and the stress that you're feeling. So it makes so much sense that your fear brain is trying to do that, because again, it's trying to keep you safe, and it won't find an answer in the past that will keep you safe right now. So it will try to find something that is going on right now, bite down on that, and tell you, oh, you just have to leave the relationship, or you have to move across the country or to another country in order to be happy. And usually that does not work, because the fears and the tension and the stress and the overwhelm come from trauma, and the only way to heal that is actually to go a layer deeper. Because so that is how the fear brain is sabotaging your healing, by letting you focus on things that aren't really moving the needle, but aren't even really relevant. I've spent literally thousands of hours worrying about my relationship, having obsessive thoughts and analyzing my relationship, thinking that was a problem and I should just break up. And the fact that I'm not doing that is just because I'm weak and which makes me a bad person. I mean, it was just endless loops of analyzing my relationship. And if I had put all of that energy into healing what actually caused those thoughts instead of the thoughts themselves, I would have healed so much faster. I didn't know back then, but I know now. And the more you feel like the fear brain has the tendency to bite down on something that is very important to you, and that the more radical the choice would be, the more it feels like that is the solution. So when you're living together, breaking up would mean selling the house, hypothetically, and that is like a major decision. And so the harder the decision, the more radical the decision, the more the fear brain will try to tell you this is the solution, and then you'll feel happy. But that's usually escapism. Then the fifth sign is your fear brain making you feel tired, making you feel resistance, hopeless, helpless. So your fear brain sounds like it's just your brain, and your body and your brain are separate, but that's not the case. Your fear brain has so much influence on what you feel, how much you feel, whether you feel anything at all. And it just kind of tries to do everything in its power to keep you safe. And if that means making you so tired that you can't really heal any further, making you feel resistance to healing, making you feel hopeless and helpless just to keep you safe, it will do that. And it can influence feelings like that. So understanding why that happens and not taking those feelings either at face value or thinking that it means something about your relationship or about who you are as a person. just helps knowing what the fear brain does and how it works, because it is not trying to be mean. It's not trying to make your life more difficult. In a way, it's like a scared toddler that is trying to rule your life and trying to control everything. Um, but it has no capacity to do so, and so its ways of doing so um, feel illogical to the mature brain. But there is such a sense of logic in there when you understand it. And then the sixth one is the sign that your fear brain is sabotaging you healing is you need to fix this problem first. The fear brain just tends to always give you something to fix before you get to where you want to go, because it's so scared that when you get to that place you want to go, whether it's being healed or reaching a goal, um, that things will change and you won't be able to handle that. And so it will just give you things to handle to make everything more perfect, because it seeks safety in perfection. It seeks security in perfection. And so when you keep fixing problems, you have this belief that once all the problems are fixed, then it will be perfect and then I will be safe. That is such a clear sign that the fear brain is operational and is sabotaging your healing the fearful avoidant attachment style, because you could be fixing problems the rest of your life and never really getting to a place of being healed. So what you want is that your fear brain feels safe. Feels safe to heal, feels safe to take the next step, and feels safe to get to a place of actually being healed, not just working on healing, but actually getting to a place of being healed. And this is something I see gets missed so often, even in with amazing therapists, very well-intended therapists. There's still this belief or this myth, really, that everybody wants to heal and everybody wants to feel good, whereas the fear brain is just not interested in that at all. And the fear brain is something else than the nervous system, just to be clear, because the fear brain is like it's it has its own logic. It creates thoughts. It creates images. It can create feelings, and knowing how it works makes all of that less scary. So it really is something different than the nervous system, which just shows you in what kind of state you are, fight or flight, freeze, which is very useful. But the understanding the fear brain and the fear system is something I see missing so often. So have you, in order to heal the fearful avoidant attachment style, and I think specifically this attachment style even more so than the others, you need to understand your fear brain. Because if it doesn't feel safe, it will make your healing journey so much harder. And what I want for you is to be able to heal in a way that that feels lighter. And the way to do that is to take the fear brain along for the ride. And obviously we do that in Healed and Happy. So when you're ready for that, I would be so absolutely delighted and excited to guide you through this. But if not, I hope this information about the fear brain, these 6 signs, already help you a lot understanding the fear brain a little bit better. So let me know in the comments below whether you recognize this, and I always love hearing from you. I am so happy you are here, and I will see you in the next one. Healed and Happy is a tailor-made online program where me and my team personally guide you through healing the roots of the fearful avoidant attachment style.